In this video, we're going to work through a real world example. So what I need you to do is I want you to go to my website, andrewscarf.com/worksheets, and I want you to go to the comma survey file, and I just want you to click download, and I want you to download that CSV file. Now that Excel file is going to download to wherever you download most frequently to your computer, and then what you're going to do is you're going to open that up. And then we can see here that we have some kind of survey results about the comma and whether or not it's important or not. So we have some different information here. We have like respondent ID, gender, age, household income, education, location, more if it's correct, if grammar is correct or not, if they've heard of the Oxford comma, if they care about the Oxford comma. There's a writing prompt that they ask. I'm not exactly sure what data underscore singular underscore plural means. If they care about the data and whether or not they care if proper grammar is important or not. Now what you can see here is we have, in total, we have 13 columns and 1,130 different observations. Now, if somebody were to ask us to summarize this by ourselves, this would be quite onerous. Let me zoom in there a little bit for you. So today what we're going to learn is how do you create a pivot table to represent an individual's gender and whether or not they care for proper grammar. So what you're going to do is on your Excel, just click anywhere in the data, go up to Insert, click Pivot Table, and then it will automatically select your entire sheet. So we know that we're looking here on sheet 1 from A1, that's in the top left corner, all the way down to M1130. And as we previously observed, we have 1,130 rows. So we know all of our data is there. And then choose where to place the pivot table. Typically, I like to place it in a new worksheet because that is what is most easy to work with. Now, I said we were interested in gender and whether or not people cared about grammar. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the variable here, gender, and we're going to drag this down into our rows. And then the other variable we were interested in looking at was care underscore proper underscore grammar. And what we're going to do is drag that into our columns. So I can make this just a little bit back there. And then what we want is a count of within our columns on how respondents responded to this. So we're going to drag this down into values. And you can see here that we have our counts. Now, perhaps you wanted something a little bit different. Perhaps you wanted sum. Well, in that case, you're going to right click on this, click settings, and then instead we could do sum. In this case, it doesn't provide the answer that we're looking for because, of course, what we're actually looking for is sum. So there you have the beginnings of your contingency table. Now there's some interesting observations here. The first is that we have blank for gender. So somewhere in the survey respondents, somebody didn't respond to the gender. So perhaps you want to filter this out. In total, you can see that you have 1,059 respondents for these two particular variables where they've answered at least one of these two questions that pertains to gender or how they feel about their care for proper grammar. Now, perhaps you want to say, I am actually only interested in the known variables for female and male, so I want to filter this out. Well, what you're going to do is in this little gray box that you see here at the top, you're simply going to uncheck blank, and then you can see that your pivot table automatically changes. Importantly, if you want to know that it's changed, look down at the total there, 1,037. If we want to put blanks back in, you're going to see that that total automatically adapts to the 22 observations that we have for blanks. So we're just going to filter out the blanks. And there we have it. Yep, it's dropped by 22 observations. So that's how you create a pivot table in Excel. We will do other videos where we walk through these examples in more detail. That's it for this video, but if you found that it helped make statistics easy, consider showing your support by giving the video a like. And if you still need more help with statistics, then consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I look forward to solving many more problems with you next time.